In a town of clanking gears and hissing pipes, a clever boy named Pip had a very bright idea. Every night, while the townsfolk snored, he would sneak onto his rooftop. He had a special net. It was made of silver thread and whispered wishes. He used it to catch moonlight. But what happens when you take too much light from the sky? You are about to find out. Pip lived in a tall, wobbly house stacked like pancakes. His room was at the very top. It was filled with glass jars of all sizes. Each jar glowed with a soft, silvery light. Pip, with his wild, copper-colored hair sticking up everywhere, and a permanent smudge of grease on his cheek, would sit at his workbench. He would carefully pour the captured moonlight into smaller bottles. He wore oversized goggles that made his eyes look like two big walnuts. A mischievous grin was always plastered on his face. He called his product Dream Fuel. He told everyone it guaranteed sweet dreams and chased away grumpy nightmares. Every morning, Pip would set up his stall in the town's bustling market. The market was a wonderful mess of whirring gadgets and steam-powered stalls selling everything from clockwork canaries to self-stirring soup pots. Pip's stall was the most popular. A long line of tired-looking townsfolk would snake around the corner. "One bottle of Dream Fuel, please," a grumpy baker would say. Pip would hand over a glowing bottle with a flourish. His cash box, a repurposed biscuit tin, would fill with shiny coins. Clink, clank, clunk. Pip loved that sound. He would count his coins each night, his smile growing wider and wider. His pockets bulged. He even bought a tiny, steam-powered unicycle to zip around town. He was the richest boy in town. He was also the only one selling dreams in a bottle. But one night, something was wrong. Pip climbed to his roof with his silver net. He looked up. The moon was just a tiny sliver. It looked sad and tired, like a pale, deflated balloon. He swished his net through the air. He only caught a few lonely sparkles, not enough for even one tiny bottle. He tried again the next night. The moon was even dimmer. Panic started to bubble in Pip's chest, like an overbrewed pot of tea. Without moonlight, he had no dream fuel. Without dream fuel, he had no clinking coins. What was he going to do? The town became a very grumpy place. The baker burned his croissants. The librarian shushed people extra loudly. Children had nightmares about broccoli monsters and unfinished homework. Everyone came to Pip's empty stall, looking tired and cross. "Where is the dream fuel?" they demanded. Pip, for the first time, did not have a clever answer. He just looked at his empty bottles and then at his heavy coin box. His cheeks turned red. He felt a strange pang in his chest that had nothing to do with hunger. He looked up at the faint, fading moon and knew it was his fault. His greed had drained the sky. Pip knew what he had to do. He went back to his workshop. He did not count his coins. Instead, he started building. He used gears, spare pipes, and his old unicycle wheel. He worked all day and all night. Finally, he had finished. It was a magnificent, rickety flying machine. It had flapping canvas wings and a boiler that hissed excitedly. It looked like a giant mechanical goose. Pip gathered every last glowing bottle of moonlight he had left. He loaded them onto his ship. He was going to the moon. He was going to return what he had taken. He put on his goggles, gave the starter crank a mighty pull, and with a great lurch and a puff of steam, he soared into the dark sky. The journey was bumpy and breezy. Stars whizzed past his ears like tiny silver bees. He flew higher and higher above the clouds, until he reached the quiet, gentle face of the moon. It was even sadder up close. Its craters looked like frown lines. Pip landed his ship with a soft bounce. He opened his crate of bottles. One by one, he uncorked them. The bottled light rushed out, flowing back into the moon like a river of silver. With each empty bottle, the moon grew brighter. Its sad face slowly turned into a warm, gentle smile. A brilliant, beautiful light filled the sky. Pip felt the light on his face. It was warmer than any coin he had ever held. He realized something important. The light was not his to keep. Pip flew back to a town bathed in beautiful, silvery moonlight. People were out on their balconies, looking up at the sky with smiles. They were sharing the light. Children were dreaming happy dreams for free. The next morning, Pip did not open his stall to sell dream fuel. Instead, he opened a workshop to teach others how to build star catchers and music boxes that played sleepy lullabies. He learned that helping people sleep well was more rewarding than selling them sleep. The light you give away always finds its way back to you. It fills your heart, which is a much better place for light than a bottle. Thanks for coming along on this adventure with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Good night, little one.